Welcome, 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 welcome. This is a Toolbox Talk with She Masters. I'd like to welcome everybody, our viewers at home, whoever is watching, whether you are watching this live or you're going to be watching it as a recap. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome once again to our episode of Toolbox Talk with She Masters. And this is me, your host, Masejo Zululekowe of She Masters. I'd like to take this opportunity again to welcome and ask you to invite your friends, your family, your loved ones, your colleagues, everybody at home as we continue to bring to you health and safety issues across all industries, raising awareness because my safety is your safety. We are all responsible for our safety and the safety of our community, of our nation, and of the world at large. Welcome once again. Please do share, invite, like, and call everybody to watch this wonderful episode that we are bringing to you today. And with me today, I have two gentlemen that we are going to be discussing a very, very, very important topic titled cybersecurity, cyber safety, risks, and management, keeping our kids safe online. And once again, my name, Masejo Zululekowe from She Masters, and this is Toolbox Talk with She Masters. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking as said, cyber safety, risks, and management, keeping our kids safe online. You may wonder, or you may be aware that ever since this time of COVID, we have actually been having our children being exposed to the internet. Yes, it is good. The positives are there. We see it. We are having, our children, studying from home, which is really good, working from home as well as parents. But going forth, what is it? Are we aware of the risks that come with, online services or online activities, or having to study online or having to be exposed to the internet? This is what we are going to be talking about today. We are going to be having our gurus here to explain to us what the risks are, what we as parents are supposed to be aware of, and how we can assist our children. We are going to be talking about the cyber safety risks and management. Please make sure that you do not miss this one and invite and share as much as possible to your friends and families. As I've said, I have with me again our gurus, the two gentlemen whom I'm going to allow now to introduce themselves. We have Dr. Mufa, Mufa, Mufuafuani,
Mafua.
Mafuafuani, sorry, that's a very long one. Sorry, Doctor. Dr. Mafuafuani from South Africa, and he will go on to introduce himself. Doc, the stage is yours. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. Please
Thank
introduce
you, Messi.
yourself.
Thank you, Messi. It's an absolutely an honor to be invited by you and then to join this program, and also to give back to the community and also to
Exactly.
share some insights. Yeah, my name is Dr. Mofofwani from Logicals SA or Logical South Africa. What we do is that we do deal with cybersecurity solution and end-to-end ICT, of course. And
Mm,
when the space that I look after, I'm a practice manager for the cybersecurity division. Basically, what it means is that I look after the entire business within our company when it comes to security. Then I play a very good advisory roles when it comes to our clients and other prospect clients in terms of what they should have in their place. So we do this via consultative, and we also have some sort of intelligence solutions, and even a youth security operations center that runs within our Johannesburg offices. And the other good thing about us is that we are also managing international clients around Europe, and then we because we are a global company. So, but we are also doing this thing from South Africa as well, because these days with the new way of working, it has enabled us to literally understand that we can actually do the work from anywhere and how. Like for this event, for example, we are now doing it online. In most cases, we would have been face to face. So I didn't have to travel to Botswana. I didn't have to be that side. I'm this side, but still able to deliver. And that's what we do best. We are a architect of change, and we are able to make sure that our solution can be delivered and can be worked throughout in a different locations. And yeah, but in the most important case of today is around the cyber risk and management, whereby we play a huge role when it comes to risk and management for our client. Without a proper understanding the proper risk that you have, you cannot be able to defend. So we believe that through our consultative stage, we analyze the risk that our clients have, and after analyzing the risk that our client have, we then go into more detail, whereby we then offer them solutions. So solution cannot come without understanding the risk, and then understand that risk. It means that you need to be able to manage the risk itself. And now that today's topic is not only about the corporate that we deal with every day, or my client that I deal with every day, but it's about the consumers, or the people out there, and then our keys, more especially, because the digital world is out there for everybody. And as much as we are embracing it, and we have to embrace it, but we need to do it with some sort of management. And I believe that's why I couldn't say no to such an invite to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much for that. Indeed, we are agents of change, and change start with taking a step to do something and to giving back to the community, as you have said. For you to be able to manage the risk, like you said, you have to understand what the risk is. Thank you very much for that, Doctor, and welcome once again, gentlemen, ladies, our viewers everywhere, whoever is watching at home. Please feel free to use the chat box to talk to us, to ask any question as we go along our conversation today with the two gurus that we have today. This is going to be a very insightful, conversation that we're going to have today. And please continue to share and invite as much as possible. We are going to our next guest, who is Charles Tavapi. He is from Botswana, and he is going to introduce himself. And Mr. Charles, as you introduce yourself, please do continue with giving us an overview of what cybersecurity is, and laying the foundation for us to understand what we are really talking about. Say, thank you very much and welcome. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Messi, of course, just for inviting us to this show. It's a honor. Yes, my name's Charles Tatosi Chavapi from Botswana, otherwise commonly known as CC. I go by the name of CC. So basically, maybe before I jump into giving an overview of the today's show, all that I can say is as an introduction, because if I go on and on to introduce myself, we'll definitely, I would take all the show. Of course, Charles is a certified information security manager. I work as Chief Executive Officer for a company called Cyber Intelligence Agency. I'm a director of Cyber Intelligence Agency Academy, which mostly does awareness sessions such as this one. Yes, I have been in the industry for long. I've worked for Customer Recognition Standard Bank, Barclays Bank, Botswana. By then, that's where all things started. I worked for about 12 years as an information security manager. I went on to join the Botswana Mining Company and Pension Fund before, of course, resorted to being on my own with the CIA. Yes, that's Charles Chavapi from the point of on the side of security. Now, without just wasting any time, I think I would like just possibly to give an overview by starting to share with the audience here a bit of a presentation that I have kind of like just a minute. I just
Yes,
hope it doesn't.
it's okay. Just take your time. This is Toolbox Talk with She Masters, and we are talking cyber safety risks and management, keeping our kids safe online. Do you know the risks that are associated with all this? Do you know the risks that are associated with, the online activities that your kids are taking role in, and how can we manage them? So today we are here on Toolbox Talk with She Masters with our two gurus who are going to take us through for us to understand. Like Doctor said, for you to be able to manage a risk, you have to understand the risks. And this is what our episode today is all about. This is Toolbox Talk with She Masters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I invite you once again. Invite, share, and like. Mr.
Join us.
Chavapi.
I
Thank you.
Tell me tell me when you are able to see the screen. Are you able to see my screen from my end?
Not yet. Please
Not yet.
share. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Ye-
While he's
No,
still getting himself ready, let us talk about this now. The topic is saying keeping our kids safe online, and also with the issue of COVID now being in place. How are things? What is your view about it? Just in a simple line.
Sorry, is it
okay.
my
Oh
screen? Are
yes.
you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
we
Now
are.
we're able to
Right.
say it. I was about to, fire doctor now with questions. You can, you can go on, say. Thank you very
Sorry,
much.
sorry, sorry about that hiccup. Of course,
It's
yeah.
okay.
This we are actually going to be talking cyber safety as Messi mentioned, but I would rather change the subject. Messi, I would say let's wash our cyber hands on. That's how I
Exactly.
would title it. Yes, yes. Just as to give context to this show. Um, I'll talk about top online threats to kids
Mm,
and how to keep kids safe online during coronavirus. Of course, in the end, I will go on to talk about the laws that are applicable to this industry. Of course, bringing it back home. What is it that we have home that relates to cyber security? That's in terms of our laws. Yeah. Yes, cyberbullying. It is an aggressive, threatening, or mean-spirited activity conducted via electronic mail. That's basically, I would say, harassing people through social media posts, text messages, etc. Borrowing from the National Bullying Prevention Center, which is at Los Angeles, that's PESA's National Bullying Center. They had stats that's reached like almost 34 kids of the age between 12 and 17 have been cyberbullied at some point in their life, and 11%, 11.5% have bullied someone else online. Uh, it looks like girls are more likely to be victims of cyberbullying. At some instance, of course, boys have admitted to such bullying. Um, then we talk of online predators. Uh, you know very well the word predator itself, or in the ordinary language, it refers to those ruthless animals, the likes of lions and tigers. But in bringing back to this subject, what we're basically talking about is we are referring to those adults who use internet to intercise children for sexual or other types of abusive exploitation, considered as online predators. Uh, Child victims can be as young as one or to an age of 17. When it comes to online incitement, girls make up a majority. That's borrowing from that PESA's National Cyberbullying Prevention Center. They make a majority of about 78%, and while majority of 80% of online predators are, on the other hand, are male. And 98% of online predators have never been met, they've never met the targets in real time. As you know very well, we are living in a global world. Obviously, right now, Messi is somewhere, and my fourth one is in South Africa and Botswana. So we, just in the world itself, you can get to, it's so easy to get to somebody through the web. Especially, now let's talk of exposure to inappropriate content that kids find themselves reached to. It's inappropriate content is one of the most common online threats that kids can encounter. Everything from vulgar language, pornography, or hate speech to graphical violence or sexual images can have a harmful effect on a impressionable child. It is high imperative that over 55% of kids, that's kids who are at the age of 10 to 12, have been exposed to this violent content on the internet, and nearly 6% have come across sexual explicit words or images. Secure websites. Every secure website starts with the HTTP. That's if you just any website starts with the HTTP. However, you will know a website is secure if it has the letter S that at the end, that HTTPS. Then you will know that one. At least generally, it means the website itself is taking measures to keep users, that's our kids, yourself, and the information secure while they use the site. The tip is, if you are redirected to any website for school or entertainment that you don't have the extra S at the beginning of the address, stay clear from that, please. That's a tip that I will give you. Guiding personal information. Be aware of personal details and ensure they are safeguarded appropriately. This could be tricky when your child needs to be identified from schoolwork or class discussion, but personal details needs to be guarded all the time. Student identifiers and so on are great to protect kids' personal details from leaking onto the internet. Let's be in the habit of using secure usernames and passwords to log into our course lectures and just ordinarily in our laptop and PCs, even at home. Set up parental controls. These already exists a lot of. There already exist a lot of helpful tools built into your device. That could be, hardware, software, or in our internet browsers. Here are some of the tutorials to help you maximize built-in privacy settings and content blockers. I guess you can all read and you can see them. The likes of parent controls when using Netflix, parent controls for YouTube Kids, and so on and so forth. Of course, like I said, in every subject, it's very important that you bring about and you sensitize people around the laws that apply, because it's very important that for our kids, as young as they are, for us to bring them so that we sensitize and we tell them of the policies or the laws that apply, so that at least that's a way of limiting, and that's a limiting control in a way, so that people don't go out to commit crime. Yes, coming back home, like I said, the ones that we have in Botswana, we have a Cybercrime and Computer-Related Crimes Act of 2018. This just to illustrate pertaining to the offenses and procedural powers they too. I remember, if I remember very well, there used to be the first act on this was on 207, the Botswana Act. This is just a revision of the 207 December Act. But I'll tell you what, I think we haven't, as a country, we haven't done much in sensitizing people of the act. It will come as a surprise for people to hear now that with the very act of Cyber Act, computer-related crimes in Botswana was enacted in 207 December. But you'll be surprised for people to just to be knowing of it now, because it hasn't been kind of like we haven't done much as a country to sell it to or to make an awareness on it to the public, which is what I think what we need to do as a country is where we need to go out to the schools that are out there and just for them to be sensitize them about this act. Yes, the other one that we have is Data Protection Act of 2018. Among other things, it covers information data protection, commissioning requirements for processing personal data, etc. Then, well, there are many local acts, but I just chose to bring these two, three, because I think they are more closer to the subject itself. Electronic records evidence regulations of 2016. This talks about exercise conferred to the ministry in charge for as far as electronic record evidence is concerned. I think like I said, I was just taking this closer to home, and with that, I think even my colleague, my co-presenter, you somehow touch with other ones that affects his country or the international ones, just so as to get everyone to see that this is serious. We need to we abide by the laws, and though abide by the laws, and of course we need to be very much we need to be very much vigilant all the time. Keeping everything up to date. That's one. That's my last slide in terms of bringing up the subject to the context of the subject. What are we saying with keeping everything up to date? We're mostly talking about softwares, uh, applications that one of the best ways to keep kids safe online is to make them sure that each device they are using are updated all the time. Secure updates and pages are all meant to address the most recent and innovative threats out there. Outdated operating system or elevation of software can render your parental controls and privacy settings useless. So I think with that, that brings us. I was trying to bring the subject into context so that at least as we progress, we know exactly where it comes from, what things, so that we remain focused. Thank you very much, Mercy. I was just trying to lay the foundation here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Charles, for that deliberation. That was really good, and that was really, really insightful. Thank you very much. You have mentioned a few things that I'd want us to go back to and just bring them to just an ordinary person who wouldn't know much about cybersecurity, the internet, and all that. Our parents out there who are actually having their children exposed to the internet. We are going to be looking at that. Before we go on, ladies and gentlemen, this is Toolbox Talk with She Masters, and today we are taking cyber safety, risk, and management, keeping our kids safe online, being exposed to online activities, online services, and online way of doing things, the new way of doing things. Our kids have been exposed to so many risks. Are we aware of them? Are we aware of how we can manage them, how we can keep them safe? This is what we are actually discussing today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure that you do like and share and invite as many friends as you can. So, Doctor, coming back to you, Charles has mentioned a lot of things that I want us to look at. He mentioned that, this is an issue of cybersecurity, cyberbullying, and all that, especially during this time of COVID. Let us look at that and see what are the statistics, not necessarily the statistic, the cases that we have come across, especially during this time as compared to before the pandemic. Would you say that they have gone up, and what would you say about that?
Yeah, the stats have went up, and then
Mm,
I think that the stats, when we look at the stats,
mm,
we have seen the stats going up dramatically each and every year, even before
mm,
COVID. The reason
mm,
being is that we seen in a digital transformation world whereby companies are trying to go digital. It then
mm.
affects it's also affecting the keys, meaning that if we have to look at the similar way that we used to play, it's no longer the same with the today's kids. Today's kids, they have access to mobile phones at a very young age, meaning that the evolving or the evolution of the world has been happening. But now when we look at COVID have not only allow the kid only to have access to mobile phones, but we have seen that it was now even a must. So because most kids were actually not most, everyone has been who was schooling was asked that they cannot go to school because everyone was on lockdown or everyone is on lockdown. So when people are on lockdown, what transpired the most is that some perpetrators, hackers or some cyber criminals have used this moment to literally gain access either to the school environment or using the keys. Because before you'll find that the schools have their own protection around how they're going to protect their system, but now they have these thousands of keys. Now that they have iPad, tablet that they need to access school material, it opened a lot of loopholes whereby I believe that the stats have went very up for the fact that keys, it's not even easy to distinguish between the email that you receive, whether is this from the school or is this from the hacker side via the phishing side. So a lot of things like that has happened where we see ourselves in a very difficult situation whereby most of the kids have fallen victim already, and not only the kids, schools. I've dealt with schools that have fallen victim whereby the kids couldn't write the test. Some kids couldn't write exams, couldn't write tests. Why? They didn't receive the right link. The link that they received was tempted by somebody, because why? That particular person was looking for the information. So we need to look exactly what is that that's driving all this. Is because of the information. Hackers or people out there, they are looking for personal information, and kids don't understand that. They don't even understand what is that they can call personal information, not to share with. And those are the details that we've seen a lot of that happening. We've seen a lot of actually the phishing campaigns have increased dramatically since the start of COVID-19. And the phishing campaign, I mean, when people send you an email and they try to trick you to either click into the email or to download something, where they make the email so appealing to you in a way that you will definitely have to click into it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor, for saying that. That's a very, very important point that you have raised there. That these criminals, cyber criminals, are actually looking for information, nothing physical, but they're actually looking for information that they are going to be using it for something else, to reap something else from the clients, and the children are not aware of that. Then the question here is that about the schools, what is it that the schools are supposed to do? And more especially that, when we had this pandemic, it introduced this risk. It introduced this opportunity now to say that, okay, let us improve things and let's go digital. But also going digital came up with risks. So would we say that our education systems, not only in Botswana, everywhere, where the education system had to now go into using digital platforms now, would we say that we just jumped into this new version of doing things without actually analyzing the risks that are coming up with this new
Yes,
invention?
most definitely, I agree with you on that one. That we find ourselves whereby you cannot even blame the schools or the government,
Mm,
or whether it's a government school or it's not a government school. We find ourselves at a situation whereby no one was ready for COVID. No one
exactly.
was really ready to say that they're gonna work remotely. When you look
Mm,
at the school or school budget, it's already thin when it comes to IT. Now, when we look at the secure way that things could have been easily done, or things that can be easily done, is using a secure communication, things like
mm,
a VPN, which is a private network that
mm,
can be accessed. So to ensure that only the permitted keys can get into that line. But
mm,
again, some of these technologies that you need to plug into either a phone or a laptop,
mm,
they do require some sort of knowledge or someone that's going to
mm,
manage it behind that. That's another cost that people were not fully aware of or not ready for it. And now you've get the parents to already now get the tablet or the iPad so that the kid can now attend the classes. But now, how
mm,
do you make sure that you can again rely that back to the parent to say that
mm,
the parents, how do they protect that, because they just thought that this is a device that I'm using it for school purposes. So it's
mm.
a joint venture, because now as a
Yes.
parent, now I need to look in terms of, okay, the school have moved into this, and we cannot really blame
Mm,
the schools or neither the
mm,
government, because everyone was not ready. But there
exactly.
are basic controls that Charles have indicated, for example, that
Mm,
we need to make sure that we apply some sort of parental control,
mm,
because as much as we'll think that our kids are working online or they're doing school stuff, it's not always the case.
mm,
When we talk about this phishing attack, they will come in a way that sometimes they look like school material, and they are not school material, just to
mm,
lure them or to pull them through so that they can continue reading. And the more they read, it's so appealing to them in a way that you find your kid is already in several relationships, for example, and you're not even aware of that, but the kids is sitting at the one place. This thing is
Mm,
happening, and
mm,
there's things that people kids don't know that happens behind the back. Let's look at the three main things. Charles spoke about the contact. So there's three
mm,
main things when we come about information. We're talking about contact. We're talking about contact. We're talking about conduct. So
mm,
now the contact is about all those things that I've mentioned, things like
mm,
the adverts that they can be put to those keys now. Cell phone, if it's not properly managed, they can
mm,
receive those adverts that could be not be appropriate for them. And then when we look more from a that's from a commercial side, when we look more from an aggressive side, you look
mm,
that there are harmful contact. As much as the social media is trying to block some of those contact, but there are still a lot of contact that our own keys are sharing online, you know.
mm,
And those contacts, some of them include some personal contact, because when you look at the kid, they don't understand what is that is personal in that way, that going to a vacation or talking about your family vacation that you're about to go, that's kind of like disclosing some serious personal information in there, where you find that you don't know what your father is actually facing on his level, or your mother, or everybody around your family, that could easily put them into risk. So we face, I believe that it's a lack of the what we're facing is a lack of awareness and education.
mm,
Something like this is required, because there's just too much blame that has been put. For example, oh, the school should protect our kids,
mm,
but to what level? When it comes to digital world, no, it's involving every day. It's involving
mm.
every day, and not only from a contact from school, but from from playing area. There's nothing that a kid will do these days without using a mobile phone to play
Exactly.
or to entertain themselves. But now
Yes.
they don't no longer have the sanctuary side, or the place where they can hide it. Because back
Mm,
then, when you look at our bullying, if someone bullied me at school, I'll come back home, I'll stay in my room, keep quiet the whole day, and I'll be fine the next day. But
exactly.
now, you sitting at home, that person bullied you at school, someone is still sending those texts either via WhatsApp or via social media, or they took this funny picture of doctor and now is busy trending online.
Mm.
And that is another angle, that how do you now prevent that as a parent? So now that goes to the community. It's no longer about the parent again.
Great stuff. Great. You just went to the topic that I want us to the point where I want us now to look at. You are talking about bullying, and you are talking about, trying to differentiate it between the bullying that was happening then, before all these, online services have been like, bummed out like that. But now we are talking about it now as an cyberbullying. Charles, I just want you to take us through again to the cyberbullying now. Let's just talk to that parent at home. Let us talk to that child at home. How would a parent notice that their child is being bullied? Remember that you've mentioned also that, this the ages that would come up into this bullying would be like maybe from 1 years or even to up to, 17 years. And we see a lot of children nowadays on Facebook, on social media, being always on their phones. This is the trend nowadays. So, how do we know that they are being bullied or they're just enjoying themselves there? And how do we manage that, Doc? Charles, please take us there and just, highlight the responsibilities for us as parents, as children, as everybody that is involved, because this is our call, everybody's call. Please take us through, Charles.
Thank you, thank
Mm,
you, Miss. I'll tell you what. It is very difficult, obviously, just to tell that there is actually bullying that is going on. But if you take your time as a parent, and you go into just being the norm of you get into your child's phone or laptop, just to see the kind of sites that they visit, uh, you- and the type of communication that exists in there. You're probably can just imagine your 2 year kid or 3 year child is being harassed by somebody, an elder somewhere. So maybe as far as Australia or India. But the sort of communication that you see, then that will get to tell you the site that she's visiting, the person that she is exchanging with in there. If you go into into the sites themselves, you should be able to see that. what I'm trying to say is, we let's take that responsibility as parents to
Mm,
always monitor, or to always see what sort of sites our children visits, what sort of transactions they do over the net. Then that's the only way we'll get to see, unless obviously it's an instance whereby your child comes to you, and they talk to you about something that is happening. Then that maybe that's when you'll get that. But your other responsibility as a parent, just be on in that, just educate your child. Tell them of the do's and don'ts on the internet. That way, you are actually equipping them to be able to report back in the instance that they've got something that is that could catch an eye. I take it that I've responded to that question,
yes,
unless.
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
did,
no.
you did, you did, you did. Do you have anything to add there, Doctor, on what he just said?
No, I think Charles, you have evaluated very
Yes,
well, and definitely
yes.
just to add on
Mm,
top of that is to say that again there are software out there from companies that some of the companies that we work with, that they have some tool set or application that are designed for parents to be able to monitor their kids online. So to put that security into your kids, so that you can monitor those online activities in real time. And there's always, like, I will agree with Charles, the most important part is to be able to feel comfortable to engage with
mm,
your children,
mm,
because there's nothing that as much as we can have tool set, there's one thing that will never gonna have a solution to it. It's just gonna need our mindset to do it. There's nothing that's gonna replace an open dialogue. So, which means, firstly, educate your children only to your friends with the friends. You know,
mm,
not that
mm,
thing that Facebook, because someone invited me and I just accept those invite without knowing those people.
mm,
So because it's hard to replace an open dialogue, and then an open dialogue can be very hurtful, because, as you understand, words sometimes are even more painful than hiding. And they can say certain things that might not treat a kid well. So they must avoid, by all means, especially children, to get involved to conversations to people that they don't
mm,
know, because
mm,
especially when we're talking about cyberbullying, the cyber
mm,
people, they plan for you, they target you, so they know exactly what they're gonna press the next point.
mm,
The next thing they're gonna tell, oh, doc, yeah, you have that big head, and then you feel offended and you're trying to
mm,
defend yourself. The next thing they
mm,
cut you on something else is gonna affect your emotional capability. And then, as parents, what we can least do in that instant is to try to have a regular
mm,
chat with our children. How's it going online? What
mm,
application are they working on? Are you finding this system very useful? Anything? Do you know that you can also report on Facebook or
mm,
Twitter or Instagram? So they also must know that if you find certain contact not appropriate
mm,
for you, even if you're a child, report it, because to
mm,
those platform owners, because it's a society thing when it comes to protecting around cyberbullying. So we cannot even blame the likes of Facebook, the likes of Instagram, the likes of
yes.
Twitter, because they have provided a reporting element of
Mm,
contact when they contact. Yeah. So
yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, I'm a lady. I'm the only lady. Lady and gentlemen. So this is Toolbox Talk with Chief Masters, and today I have my cybersecurity gurus, which is Doctor and Mr. Charles. And today we are talking cyber safety risks and management, keeping our kids safe online. Please feel free to send your comments there, or any question that you might be having there. We'll attend to it as we go on. And we move on into as we continue with our conversation with the gentleman here. Now, say, I just want us to go back to this. Charles, you spoke about the laws. You spoke about the laws that are there, that that are looking into the cybersecurity aspect of it. So I just want us to do the comparison within the laws that we have here in Botswana, and also the laws that we have internationally in South Africa, and all that. Firstly, before we go into that, Charles, I just want to know. I have a child that I feel that is being cyberbullied online, or has been, he's been things are happening online that I'm not aware of, that I have to complain about, me being a child, or me being a parent, or me being somebody around there. how do I go about it? Like doctor has said that we have to report it. Let us say that we don't. I don't know that I can report online or whatever. How can I do it in my country in Botswana to say that, you know what, I'm concerned about that. Remember, I'm not talking about somebody that I know. I'm just complaining about, people talking about me, and I'm frustrated, or my child is frustrated. What steps do I take there as a parent or as a child who can stand up and say that I'm not okay? What steps do I can take as pertaining to the law? What does the law say? And where do I go?
Yes, like I said, we have laws, and I cited the Cyber Crime Act of
Mm,
2018. That's the first. That's our first Bible to say, so to
mm,
say. Uh, but then, obviously, yes, we have the law enforcement. First of all, that's the police. Obviously, that's where you will need to report that. Well, then I think. Ordinarily, we know when you report to police, and they'll have to open a case.
mm,
That's exactly how we have to start.
mm,
But uh, now, maybe just to emphasize more into your just to put a little bit of meat into your question, because this I take it that we are trying to bring that much of awareness, more especially in the space of cyberbullying.
mm,
Just I would like to if just for anybody that is actually listening here, to just for them to appreciate more about cyberbullying, so that when you get out there to report it, at least
mm,
you'll somewhere have that this is exactly cyberbullying. Maybe if you can take a pen and just jot down this this site is pacer.org /bullying. Let me just repeat: pacer.org /bullying. This is a website of a company and an organization in America, in Los Angeles. They're called Personal National Bullying Prevention Center. They actively lead in social change to prevent childhood bullying. I mean, let's learn from the best, guys. And if you go into the site just to learn more about bullying, so
mm,
about what bullying is, how it came about, and of course, bringing back to a country. Like I said, the most thing that you can do, the first thing that you will do if there's you experience such bullying, yeah, you go to you go to the police. Yes, in one of the chapters of our Cyber Act, I think it's section 16. It talks about an offense of cyber stalking. It's called cyber
mm.
stalking.
Yes.
That's that is that harassment. So that
Mm,
is an offense on its own that they can take a charge that is not more than 40,000 pula, or as a maximum, or 2 years in imprisonment. That's a law that is there that actually would deter. When I talked about in the context of risk, and that it is at least is there to limit such offenses happening around us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, Charles, for that. That was really, thank you very much for the site as well. Before we go to the conclusion, gentlemen, Doc, I want you to take us through this one. Let us talk about the GDPR. Most of the time when we fill our forms, we do this, we especially here, there's always that compliance with GDPR. Do we see it happening mostly in our countries, in Africa, in Botswana, in South Africa? And if not, if yes, how is it? And what can we say about that? How effective is that? Like,
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Firstly, before I can touch base on GDPR,
mm,
let's firstly understand the reasoning behind it.
mm,
So it's around data protection. Which
yes,
data is people's, their
person,
citizen, the citizens' data.
mm,
So GDPR is specifically for the citizens that are deemed to be European citizen, and yourself, you're in Europe, so
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
your data, and then that with that regulation in place, so
Mm.
now that's a data to do, that's something to do with the data protection. But why is it
Yes.
brought?
Yeah.
It brought in by the people that we call them regulators. Why
Mm.
do they do something like that? Who they want to regulate? This is to protect the citizen. So it's to
Mm.
regulate companies like
Mm.
our company, your company, and
Mm.
any other company such as Facebook, and to make sure that when they conduct their business online,
Mm.
we engaging with citizen, they must at least follow these regulations.
Mhm.
And you'll see it that when you enter Europe, if you're from Africa, when you
Mm.
enter Europe, your Facebook actually asks you to accept the new changes,
Mhm.
because now it's gonna kind of like move away from the African type of data protection laws to more of a European type of law protection. So why is the GDPR has been pulled in, and then it quite doing its job in terms of people trying to make sure that they are compliant.
Mm.
And what we have seen is that the good thing about it, as much as it's a European kind of law, but it's not saying that, it's saying that every is European citizen, so which
Mm.
which enable every country or
Yes.
everyone around the world, they actually
Mm.
follow in making sure they are GDPR compliant. So which is good. So in South Africa, what we have done on top of that is that we have our own law that supports or that works closely more or less the same as the GDPR, which is
Mm.
POPI Act,
Mhm.
Personal Protection of Personal Information.
Mm.
So what it does is that is again from the regulator side from South Africa to say that they are trying to say that when it comes to personal information, we give our details so easily because perhaps we need assistance, we need help. For
Mm.
example, Marcel said, okay, for example, in order for you to attend the She Masters
Mm.
webinar, please send me your name, surname, all those details, maybe your
Mm.
address and that. That already that's a lot of personal information.
Mm.
But do I know what Marcel is gonna do with those details?
Mm.
And then will she use it lawfully, and making sure that it's not shared with the wrong parties that I didn't give those details to. So this
Mm.
type of law are basically they're ensuring, making sure that at least the data that is taken from the citizen, including the kids, is being properly managed by the company, meaning that they will have to store it secure in a secure place, and ensure that it only gets used by those that they intend to use it for the purpose that I, as the citizen, I have given it for that purpose. And on top of that is to say that if you're gonna use my details for any other issues, then in that case, then you have to get a consent from me to I'll give you that access to say that yes, you can now use my details. So those laws are really helping, and they're gonna improve the risk that we're talking about, because now this is the risk that we identified, the risk that personal information is scattered all over the show, and the same personal information is being used by the bad guys or bad actors to actually do these cyber criminal activities such as phishing. Charles mentioned a lot about activities that happen around bullying. All those details, they might get my details online because this other the system didn't protect. And someone, when they contact me, they send this message that's so appealing to doctor, has all my details in. Obviously I'll believe that they know me, I'll believe that they have some dealings with me, but only to find out that Masiho didn't protect my information wise. So these regulations are really helping towards to what we are actually discussing about, ensuring that people are more careful and cautious, and then when it comes to the use of personal information. And when it comes to personal information, some people still think the personal information is your ID numbers and then a name, but it's beyond that. My picture is still my personal information, and then there are certain pictures that I don't believe they should be online, that maybe I might have. So that picture being there online, that's breaching my personal information, because and same applies to my address where I live, whether I'm going to work at 10 o'clock or I usually go to work at 7 p.m. or at 7 a.m. That's personal information, because it just need one day for me to have the wrong guys, and the wrong guys are looking for me. And that information is that a doctor goes to work at 8, and they just know that let's go and stand for him. So in
They know
personal information, there's a
exactly about
lot, and
you.
parents need to educate the kid about the personal information, because it can also differ per family.
Great stuff. You've actually said it all. Like, because we take it light when our children are actually, talking on Facebook, on social media. Even us as parents, I'm doing this. I'm having tea. I'm going from here. I'm going there, and that is the time where criminals now can spot you and say that, okay, he said she's going there. There's nobody at home, and all these things they can do whatever they like because of the information that we provide on social media and all that. And having said that, coming to our conclusion, gentlemen, I just want to give you those opportunity to just, give a word of advice conclusion before we can end our show today. I'll start with you, Charles. Just give us a word of advice. Give the parents out there, the children out there, in the community, everybody out there, a word of advice depending on what we have been talking about, and let us know more about you, your company, where we can find you if you need help, what services you can provide to us, and all that. Please, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss. When I started, I said I'm gonna try and maybe rename your show to, or the theme of your toolbox to, let's wash our cyber hands. Literally, what I meant about let's wash our cyber hands is, I'm just trying to relate that to the skies that we're in, where we know it's come to be a norm that we talk of washing and sanitizing our hands because of COVID-19. So literally, what I'm saying to everyone there is, let's be let's be vigilant, so to say, of cyber X out there, because it will only take you to click on that file, and everything gets distorted. That's the most important thing. So to parents, to guardians, to kids out there, take note of confidentiality, integrity, availability of information as you're working on it online, where it is stored, and when you are transmitting or using it. I think that's the message that I can send forward to everyone. See, yeah, it's a closure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Charles, for that. Indeed, let us wash our cyber hands. I'll use that as a slogan. Let's wash our cyber hands. That's really good. Doc, your last word of advice, please. And on conclusion, please.
Yeah, no, firstly, I just want to say thank you, Marcel, for inviting myself and then also to give our company an opportunity to be part of this. At Logicals, I say we are an architect of change, meaning that definitely we want to bring change in any format. This change to our community that we serve, ensuring that we secure our clients, which is those clients are actually their clients is the consumers or the citizens, so it's a life cycle. It's a nice life cycle. But most importantly, Charles indicated that let's watch our cyber hand. So I'll say that let's be cyber smart. When it comes to cyber security, I'll always say that it might be my profession, but the good thing about my profession is that it's not only my profession, it's also your profession. Because if we all don't work together as a society and we blame politicians, we blame schools, we blame banks, we blame these, we gonna end up in a world whereby we're running away from the embracing the technologies that are brought to this world. We are living in a change world, and then the fourth industrial is here. Everything is here. We need to embrace this technology. I'm one person that don't believe that technology is here to take jobs from people. I believe that technology is here to enable people to do their job much better and to eliminate certain tasks that can be easily be automated. Because the more you optimize the environment, the better that you're gonna get. So I believe that even on our side as citizen, let's apply this automation. Let's apply the optimization. How do we apply optimization? Let's chat to our children. Let's feel free. My parents were not so free to talk to me about certain things because there were wrong beliefs. But we're living in a world that those beliefs can be there, and we can either call them cultural or not. But we are living in a world whereby you can no longer say the kids doesn't need to hear this. You need to be very much open with the kids about exactly everything that they can face. If even to feel comfortable to even talk about the sexuality that these predictors are doing online. Don't feel sorry for that, because now you're allowing that bad actor to be the one that introduce your children to that information, and they will listen to them and they will understand them. So if we share, if you continuously share, and then to the government and to the public as a whole, I'll say that let's do more awareness. The more they're aware, we are putting something, we're installing something into this kid's his head, and then over time, we'll be surprised about the new generation that is going to come after. Because they'll be more aware. But the only aware can happen is via sections like this, which I truly appreciate. She Masters, thank you, because this is a great platform for us. And then overall, as what I do, like I indicated, I'm a practice manager for Logicals, I say, whereby we help different companies, organization. It could be the organization that you're working for, that we assist them from retail, manufacturing, you can name them, even government. We understand, we assist when it comes to the cyber risk, understand the entire organizational risk, and after that we offer solution based on your environment are not the same, so we have coupled ourselves with different sort of solutions that we work with. When you look in Botswana, we have the likes of CCA that we work with. So we have partners across the globe, and then we also exist across the globe. So not only do we work, since we are in an enterprise, only do we work with a big company, we also work with the small companies, SME. So even if your company is small, you are also still, you don't have, they're not going to leave you alone because your company is small. They're after the data. They're not after the size of your company. So we are here to assist from a zero to 1 million or over and above customers and clients. So we are here for everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Dr. Mafua Fuani. I got it this time. And Mr. Charles Shabapi, thank you very much, my honorable guest. I really appreciate your presence and honoring our invitation to talk about issues of safety. This is Toolbox Talk with She Masters, and I hope I will see you again. We'll share the same platform again to continue to educate the nation, to raise awareness on these issues as they come up. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen, thank you very much. This was Toolbox Talk with She Masters. Where today we were talking about cyber safety risks and management, how to keeping our kids safe online. Thank you very much to my honorable guests as they came to deliberate on the information that they have according to their specialties. And I believe and hope that you have really enjoyed the conversation today, and it has set an insight to you that you can use going forward. Please, if you are interested in becoming part of Toolbox Talk, please do not hesitate to contact us at any time on our email at hello@shemasters- .com. And with me, this is Masejo Zulu Lekoe of She Masters, and I am your host for Toolbox Talk. And we look to hear from you in the coming future as we continue with our programs. Look out for our upcoming school safety summit that is going to be on the 2nd of November this year, where we're going to be talking about laying the foundation on issues of safety, particularly in schools. This is me, Masejo Zulu and your host for Toolbox Talk with She Masters, as we continue to talk about safety issues across all industries. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you again next time. Thank you very much.